Hey y'all, it's your girl Janae. Thank you for coming to watch my video. If you'd like to learn how to do this knotless braid hairstyle, then stay tuned. Okay, so I'm gonna start by sectioning off her hair or parting her hair. As you can see, then I add the gel. If you want to know what gel I use, you can find that information in the description. Again, I'm just taking that metal comb and sectioning off her hair, making sure everything's straight. Often when I'm doing knotless braids, I use metal clips, or any type of clips will work, just to hold the hair, make sure the extra hair is out the way. Depending on how large or small the parts are going to be, that's how many times I section it off in advance, so that it's easier to just braid an entire row. Then I take a little bit of gel, smooth the hairs down for the first part that I'm gonna braid. Then I get 3 sections to braid the hair. Then when I begin braiding the hair, I usually braid it at least 2 times around. Then I tighten it to make sure that the roots are long lasting and tight enough. And then I add my braiding hair. Now this braiding hair was custom blended for this client in advance, so I can make a separate video for that. And so basically, as you keep braiding, you just add braiding hair as needed, as shown in the video. Now sometimes when you braid the hair will tangle at the ends ever so slightly. So you just kind of want to straighten that back out so that you can continue braiding without any issues or tangling going down the braid. So that's what I'm doing there. And yeah, just keep on adding more braiding hair as needed. I'll add gel to the ends of her hair, as you can see, as needed as well. And you just continue that process while going down the braid. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that the braid is straight while braiding. That is key to braiding hair, braiding knotless braids. So just try to keep the braid straight while braiding the hair. At times, I tend to add a clip to the root, just for extra security while I'm braiding the hair. There's a lot of movement going on, so I just want to make sure the braid is straight and neat and I don't have any issues. So at this point, I've done 2 braids. I just wanted to fast forward through some of the clips, but I did want to get a close up on this knotless braid that I'm doing here. I'm getting ready to start. And I'm just combing it out, making sure the hair is straight enough for me to begin the braid. Then I create 3 sections to begin the braid. And then I begin braiding it around at least 2 to 3 times sometimes. And then I add the braiding hair. Again, you must tighten it at the root before adding the braiding hair. I also wanted to mention that I only braided halfway down so that at the end, when I'm done braiding all of the hair, I can just continue to braid all of the knotless braids down at one time. And again, just keep adding braiding hair as needed throughout the knotless braid, and just keep repeating this process as you go along. Add the gel to the ends of her hair as needed and continue to braid and just keep going down until the braid is complete all the way to the very end. Or you can braid halfway down as I did for this client. So I fast forwarded through a lot of the footage. I just wanted to explain how to do this process. So now I'm towards the top. I'm braiding a knotless braid at the top of her hair. And we're still doing the same process as the very beginning of this video. I sectioned off the top portion of her hair from the back. When sectioning and parting the hair, you want to make sure that the parts are layered. It kind of resembles stacked bricks, so you just want to keep that consistency when parting the hair throughout the entire head. If you'd like, I can show you how to do that in another video. Based off the client's preference, sometimes I leave edges out, sometimes I don't. It's all dependent on what they prefer. Just keep braiding down, making sure the braid is straight. You can see I'm moving a lot quicker with my hands at this point. The key over time is to build speed, but the main focus is to grasp the technique first, and then you can build your speed as you continue to do knotless braids. So now I'm moving to the other side of her head. Since I braided the other side, So after completing that knotless braid, I'm sectioning off the hair again. In this scene, you can see how I do my layering when sectioning the hair. I kind of use the braid that I already have braided to section the hair. I usually part it right where I braided the last braid. Now I'm at the very top of the head, the last few braids left. I already have the part sectioned already. I didn't record that part. Essentially, you just want to make sure that the last few braids that you have left align with the braids that are on the other side of the head that you already have completed. And you want to still make sure that it's layered with the braids that you just did. I also wanted to mention that although you're using the gel, try not to use too much gel. Now we're on our very last braid, trying to finish up. And so I have this portion of the video sped up, but basically once I'm done with this braid, I just braid all of the rest of the hair down, trim flyaways if there are any, and I dip them in boiling hot water. Then I take my scissors and I cut the ends of the braids straight across to make them all even. You can also add mousse or whatever you like. So that completes the video. Here's the finished look. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.